Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about A Psalm for the Wild-Built by Becky Chambers. Psalm for the Wild-Built is a solarpunk novella set on a human-inhabited moon way off in the reaches of space somewhere. And in the world of Psalm for the Wild-Built, there had been robots that were servitors of humankind, non-sentient machines, and at a certain point they developed sentience. They became not human, but certainly sentient and capable of introspection, of free will. And so the robots have gone off to be separate from the humans, and the humans have stayed where they are, separate from the robots. And the world has evolved and changed since then. Something like 200 years since the time of the division between humans and robots that this novella takes place. It's the story of Sibling Dex, a tea monk who travels around the human-populated parts of the world in a little electric assist bicycle wagon to provide tea service for people, a sort of therapeutic service that they offer, and just very relaxing and cozy. It's really a wonderfully cozy novella. Lots of lush descriptions and little lists. I love a little list in a book of all the little fiddly bits and dingle-dangles on the bicycle cart, for example. And a wonderfully optimistic sort of novella as they become dissatisfied with their life as a tea monk and go out into the wilds, where they encounter Mocktail, one of the robots who has sort of been existing out in the wild and has now decided to reinitiate contact with the human race. So this is sort of the trial run for humans and robots spending time together again. Lots of lovely conversations as they tramp through the wilderness, understanding about your place in the world, about making a better world, and an optimistic vision for the future, sort of the really big sticking point for this. So just a really lovely novella to read over the course of an afternoon, and one that I'm looking forward to see continued in a sequel later this summer, A Prayer for the Crown Shy. But we are here to make a drink, not just to talk about the book, so why don't we get on to that. Our drink today is a mocktail, so non-alcoholic, inspired by Sibling Dex and their tea service, and also by some of my favorite flavors for the spring and the summer. Berries and tea, of course, and sort of lemon as well. So why don't we get started? The drink is called the Ramble. It's a riff on the classic format of a bramble, but a little fun and different and suitable to being out wandering in the wilds of the world, or being out in the Thames of the world on your little bicycle wagon. So we're going to start with a couple of sprigs of thyme. Got fresh thyme from my garden now. So it's a wonderful time of year. For that, we'll get 2 of our sprigs down into our shaker and take our muddler and just sort of gently muddle that there. You'll see over the course of the novella that thyme makes an appearance and sort of forms a pivotal moment in the story. So really wonderful to be able to use that fresh thyme just from the garden here. Next up, one of our sweeteners. So the Ramble is going to get a bar spoon or so, good-sized bar spoon of raspberry jam. Just get that down in there. I'm going to leave my spoon in there just for a sec because it does still have some of that jam on it. So bringing some texture, some sweetness, brightness of the berries at the very beginning of the novella, one of the other monks has a piece of toast liberally smeared with jam, and that sort of stuck with me as a core part of the ethos of the novella, something that's just very comforting but also refreshing and bright. So, in order to get our jam dissolved, because right now it's still pretty viscous and jammy, I'm going to get some lemon juice. Got an ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice in there. We'll give that a bit of a stir just to start dissolving that jam. Lovely. Oh yes, that's dissolving nicely. Next we'll get half an ounce of honey syrup just to bring the balance of the sweetness there. And really wonderful, summery kind of ingredient. Does beautifully with tea and lemon. As we've seen before, a nice sort of comforting blend of flavors. And then finally, we've got our black tea. And we're going to get a full 3 ounces in there. So iced black tea, strongly brewed, as always, when we're making cocktails and mocktails, because you really want that to be, to hold its own. So we've got 3 ounces of our black tea, 1 ounce of lemon juice, half an ounce of honey syrup, a bar spoon of raspberry jam, and a couple of sprigs of muddled thyme. We'll just give that a little bit of a stir just to clean my spoon off and set that aside. Just set that down. Ice, as always, adding ice last. Got crushed ice today, just nice and refreshing. Lovely. Gonna get a little bit of that down in there. Use my handy dandy mallet to crush the ice. Always a good feeling, very cathartic to smash that ice up. And we'll get our shaker on there. Shake that up. There we go. Oh no! Novella down. Happens even to the best of us. There we are. So, we've got our freshly shaken mocktail. Get that opened back up again. And we have our glass. I am going to get a little bit of crushed ice down in there, just a wee bit, so that it stays frosty and refreshing as we sip our mocktail, as we sip on the Ramble here. And take Hawthorne strainer, that last little bit of ice aside, and strain right in there. A bit more. Perfect. There we go. Nice pinkish red, really refreshing, sort of raspberry tea lemonade. We're gonna garnish that with a couple of additional sprigs of thyme so you get that nose there as you go to sip. A stainless steel sustainable straw in there for the crushed ice, and there you have it. This is the Ramble. It's a mocktail in honor of A Psalm for the Wild-Built by Becky Chambers. Psalm for the Wild-Built is available now. Got a link to snag the book down in the description below, as well as to the Boston Shaker, where we get all of our tools and ingredients, including the handy-dandy ice mallet. Twitter and Instagram, where there are always written versions of this week's recipe. And as always, please try the drink. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe. Let your friends know what we're doing here. We've got great drinks, cocktails, and mocktails every Tuesday at noon. Until next time, cheers.